So welcome back to all the students. In today's video lecture, we are going to discuss briefly about mitosis, cell division for growth and repair, which is the second topic of your second lesson, life processes in living organisms part 1. Before starting the topic, actually, let me tell you once again that we are running online classes as well. So if you want to join us for one topic which is difficult for you, you can join us for one topic. If you want to join us for one lesson which is becoming difficult for you to understand, you can join us for one lesson as well. At the same time, if you want to continue and complete the entire syllabus with us of your biology, the biology syllabus from for standard 10th and 12th, you can do that as well. We are running online classes for 10th, 12th, CET and NEET for the subject of biology. So if you want to join us for one topic, you can join us for one topic. If you want to join us for one lesson, you can join us for that one lesson only. If you want to join us for the entire syllabus to be completed, you can do that as well. So let's start the topic, mitosis. So let's get an introduction of mitosis, what mitosis is. So mitosis is a type of cell division, obviously. Okay, cell division. So you already know what cell division is. The name itself is more than enough for you to understand what cell division means. Cell division means when cells divide, it is cell division. Okay, cell division, cells are dividing. Then why cells are dividing? What is the need for a cell to divide? So there is a basic, very simple thing why cells are dividing. So every living organism needs new cell to grow. Obviously an organism, if it is smaller in size, like in case of a baby, an infant baby, that infant baby needs more and more cells over time to grow in size. So we need new cells in order to grow in size. To survive, repair our damaged body parts and repair our damaged cells, we need more and new cells, and those new cells arise because of cell division. So previously existing cells divide and produce new cells. So we need cells to repair and even for reproduce. Okay, so there are two types of cell divisions which are discussed in your textbook. First type of cell division is mitosis. It is a simpler type. It is a very basic and very simple to understand, which is given in your book actually, which is mitosis. We are discussing mitosis today. So occurs in somatic cell. Mitosis only occurs in somatic cell. There are two types of cells in our body. This is a very important topic, which is again going to be there in your 8th lesson, which is related to biotechnology. So mitosis occurs only in somatic cells. What are somatic cells? See, let's keep it simple. Somatic cells are simple cells of your body, normal cells of your body. Your skin cells, your heart cells, your kidney, your liver, your muscles, all of these cells are called as somatic cells. All the normal cells of your body are called as somatic cells. So in somatic cells, by mitosis, what happens? The somatic cells grow, tissue grows, new organs grows. Okay, so it helps in growth and repair of any organ, any tissue which has been damaged due to aging, due to any other reason, due to any injury or due to any accident or anything else. So mitosis basically helps us in growth and repair. Okay, so these are two things to which mitosis helps us, and it occurs only in somatic cells first of all right. And the second type of cell division, which is meiosis. Here, meiosis, it's a bit tricky type of cell division actually. Okay, so it occurs in germ cells. Now what are germ cells? I'm not talking about microorganisms, germs. The term germs, actually, when we were young, we were actually connecting these two terms, germs and harmful microorganisms. But in this case, this is not true. Germ cells means reproductive cells. Okay, germ cells means reproductive cells. In case of male, these are sperm, and in case of woman, these are oocytes. Okay, so occurs in germ cells. So meiosis occurs in germ cells to produce sperm and oocyte, first of all. Then second thing, it helps in reproduction. Obviously, if meiosis is occurring in sperm, if meiosis is occurring in oocyte, obviously these two cells are going to help a person in reproduce actually. Okay, so let's move on to the actual mitosis topic. So mitosis is a process. The simple definition of mitosis goes like this, that mitosis is a process where one parent cell, okay, divides to produce two identical daughter cells. After one division of mitosis, two identical daughter cells are formed. Okay, keep the terminology in mind. Daughter cells, daughter cells means the resulting cells which are going to be there after division. Okay, so the cells which are formed after division, the two cells, those two cells are called daughter cells. So one parent cell will divide into two daughter cells, and these two daughter cells are identical to each other. This is a very important thing here, which is clearly contrasting with the meiosis thing. In mitosis, the resulting cells are identical to each other and even to its parent cell. Means the parent cell is there, exact same DNA will be carried forward to the daughter cells, and those two daughter cells will also be identical to each other. You know the meaning of identical. Let's move on. Each carrying exact same number of chromosomes and genetic information. Now these two cells which are formed due to mitosis, these two cells will be having same genetic material, same genetic information without any change. Keep in mind, there is no change in case of mitosis in the genetic material or even in the number of chromosomes. It simply means if there are 23 chromosomes in parent cell, so in resulting daughter cells, daughter cells will also be having 23 number of chromosomes. Okay, so 23 in the parent cell and 23 chromosomes in the two daughter cells. How exactly it happens, we are going to discuss it later on. So one parent cell, original cell with the full set of chromosome, okay, with the full set of chromosome, 46 chromosome in total and 23 pairs, right? And two daughter cells here, two daughter cells which are resulting cells. All right, let's move on. So importance of mitosis. We had already briefly discussed the importance of mitosis, what exact role mitosis plays in our body. Let's move on to the actual roles of mitosis. So mitosis basically plays the role of growth. Okay, it helps us in growth. Mitosis helps us in growth. As you can see here, there is an infant baby, it turns into a kid, the kid turns into an adult laterally. How exactly it is going on in our body? The cells are growing, cells are increasing in number because of mitosis. Multicellular organism grows by increasing cell number through mitosis. Secondly, repair. Obviously we fall here and there, cycling accidents happens, and when we play any sport, cricket, football, anything else, injuries are very common. So whenever we injure ourselves, what happens? Does that injury gets healed or not? Does that injury gets healed or not? Obviously after some time that injury gets healed. The smaller the injury, the less time it will take to repair. So secondly, mitosis helps us in repair. Damaged tissues are restored by replacing injured cells. The cells which are being damaged by the injury, those cells are replaced by the new cells, and these new cells are coming from mitosis. Previously existing cell, neighboring cell, is dividing by mitosis, and that the new cells which are coming into existence, they are replacing the previously damaged cells. Okay, and then replacement. Sometimes cells get damaged, cells get some diseases, you can say, cells get some sort of anomalies in themselves, cells sometimes worn out, okay, due to aging and due to any other reason, due to some diseases and all. So these cells need to be removed and it should be replaced by a new cell. So it gets replaced by a new cell because of mitosis. Just imagine this unhealthy cell over here. As you can see in the picture, you can pause the video and you can watch this. This is an unhealthy cell. Okay, we don't need this unhealthy cell, it will create problems in our body. So we need new cell in this place. So new cell will be formed through mitosis. The neighboring cells will divide. The neighboring cells will divide through mitosis, and the new cell will replace this unhealthy cell. Okay, and the unhealthy cell will be eliminated. Worn out cells, skin, blood are continuously renewed. Our skin is continuously renewed. Our blood cells are continuously replenished with the help of mitosis. Okay. And chromosome stability. This is one of the important point which students usually miss actually. That chromosome stability is another important aspect of mitosis that we had already discussed, that in case of mitosis, parent cell is having 23 pairs of chromosomes and daughter cells will be having exactly 23 pairs of chromosomes each. Okay, so this clearly tells us that the chromosome number will be stable. Chromosome number will be exactly identical to its parent cell and exactly identical to the two sister cells which are formed, two daughter cells which are resulting cells of mitosis. So chromosome number is maintained across generations of cell because we need exact same number of chromosomes in every cell. You already know that in 9th standard we had discussed about the anomalies in the chromosome number. The chromosome number, if it increases by one, it may lead to some problems and some serious problems in human body. And in case of a deletion of a number, chromosome number, it can also lead to certain problems. We had already discussed it in 9th standard. You already know that chromosome number is a very important and crucial part of anybody's health, actually. So chromosome stability is very important to us. Then what happens? Then prophase. This is the first step of mitosis. So if you are having any doubt, any questions up until now, as soon as possible, you can just go out there and type your question, drop your question in the comments so we can answer it as soon as possible. So let's move on to the actual process of mitosis. Let's start the mitosis process with the first step. And that first step is called as prophase. Okay, prophase, the phase which is the first phase, prophase. Chromosome becomes visible. How does a chromosome becomes visible? See, this is a cell. Here you can clearly see that it's the plasma membrane out here, and inside the plasma membrane the dotted line represents the nuclear membrane. Okay, and inside nuclear membrane we already know that there is DNA, okay, in the form of threads. But in prophase, those thread-like DNA which is lying around just like a thread, okay, these thread-like DNA, it does what? It becomes chromosome. Okay, it becomes chromosome. How it becomes chromosome? Loose chromatin condenses into chromosome, visible chromosomes. It starts condensation, okay, and they becomes chromosome, distinct chromosome, as you can see here. So there is no difference actually. The difference is only related to the appearance of genetic material. Before mitosis was going on, before mitosis was not there, before this, the DNA was actually inside the nucleus in the form of threads. As simple as that. As soon as the mitosis starts, the threads becomes winded around each other. Okay, they gets winded around some proteins and they become chromosome. Does the material changes? No, material does not changes. This is the same DNA which we have in the form of threads before mitosis. But now as mitosis has started, we need this thread-like material to be condensed to become chromosomes. Then nuclear membrane breaks down. As you can see here, slowly the nuclear membrane is breaking down. The dotted line is telling you that the nuclear membrane is breaking down, and slowly the nucleus is going to be disappeared. Okay, and lastly, spindle fibers are formed. What are spindle fibers? Spindle fibers, as you can see here, okay, centrioles, around centrioles, the lines, the purple lines which are coming out, those are called spindle fibers. These are the threads which are going to hold the chromosome in place, and at the correct time they will displace the chromosomes. They will separate the chromosomes out so that the cell will get, two resulting cells will get exact same number of chromosomes. All right, let's move on to the next phase of mitosis, which is metaphase. Chromosomes align. In this phase, chromosomes are aligned at the equatorial plane. Yes, chromosome align at the at the equatorial plane. All chromosomes line up at the equatorial plane, middle of the cell, as you can see here. All the chromosomes have aligned, they have arranged themselves into a line, and the centrioles are present at the opposite poles. These are the centrioles. Centrioles are temporary organelles which are formed. So these are centrioles. And these lines which are holding the centrioles at one end and the centromeres of chromosome on the other end, these lines in between are called as spindle fibers, okay, which we had already discussed in prophase. So these are the lines called spindle fibers. So this is the phase in which the chromosomes will simply align themselves in the middle part of the cell, which we call equatorial plane, and these centrioles will reach the opposite poles. Okay, as you can see, one centriole is here, another centriole is here. Chromosomes are aligning themselves into the middle part of the cell, which we call equatorial plane. Okay, this is the these two are the only things which are going on in metaphase. Let's move on to the anaphase, the third phase of chromosome. What third phase of mitosis? Sorry, anaphase. Chromatid separates. Now, the chromosomes which were there aligned at the equatorial plane, now they will get split. Yes, they will get broken, and afterwards, what will happen? The spindle fibers will pull them away from each other. As you can clearly see here, these were attached previously. Okay, these are attached over here, and in this case, you can clearly see that the chromatids are getting separated from each other. The two which were like this, okay, now they are getting separated, and spindle fibers are pulling them in the opposite direction. One side, the spindle fiber is pulling at this end, and the on the other side, the spindle fiber is pulling the chromatids at the other end. Centromere split, centromere which are present exactly in between the chromosomes over here, which are actually holding the chromatids in place. These are separating centromere split, and chromatids get separated towards opposite poles. Equal distribution, this phase ensures the equal distribution of material. As you can clearly see here, actually no chromosome is excess in any part. 4 chromosomes here, 4 chromosomes over here also. Okay, so there is equal distribution of material. Then the last phase of mitosis, the nuclear division, that is telophase. Okay, the two nuclei reform again. So in this case, just observe the diagram first, that in this case we can clearly see that there is one cell. Okay, this dark line, purple line over here is clearly telling you that there is only one cell. Okay, but nuclei are two. There are two nucleuses, one over here and the one over here. There are two nucleuses. Okay, so chromosome reach poles, which we had already discussed in Anaphase, that chromosomes are moving away from each other towards opposite poles. Now the chromosomes have reached the opposite poles. Okay, these are the chromosomes, they have reached the opposite poles where they had to go. Then nuclear membrane reforms, and around these chromosomes, okay, interesting part is coming, that around these chromosomes, nucleus will again be formed. Okay, nucleus is going to be formed once again around these chromosomes, and then chromosomes decondense. The last point over here, the chromosomes will be decondensed. What does it mean, chromosome decondensation? The chromosomes will again get into the form of a DNA, the thread-like DNA from which we had started the whole process. The chromosome will again become thread-like. Does the material changes? No, only the form changes. Okay, keep this thing in mind. Chromosome and DNA, the thread-like DNA, these two are exactly same things. The only thing which is different, that is the form of DNA. One form of DNA is simple linear before mitosis, and when mitosis starts, this linear thread-like form of DNA is has condensed into chromosomes. Now remember, try to remember this fact that we had already discussed in 16th lesson, probably in your 9th standard. Okay, so these are the things. Then what happens? We had already separated out two nucleuses, equal distribution of material has occurred already. Now we need to separate the cells out. Remember, we had not yet separated the cells out. Okay, we had separated the nucleus, we had separated the genetic material successfully, and now two nuclei are formed in the cell. But we are yet to separate out the cell, the whole cell. Okay, and this process is called as cytokinesis. Cyto means cell, kinesis means to break down, the cell division. Okay, cytokinesis. So cleavage furrow. The first step of cytokinesis is cleavage furrow. Cleavage furrow is easy to understand. A simple cleavage is formed between the cell membrane. Here's the cell membrane, and the cell membrane is moving towards. Okay, you can say inwards. Actually, the cell membrane is moving inwards. These are the two cells. They are moving like this, and they will get separated. The diagram is more than enough to tell you what's going on in cytokinesis. Then cytoplasm split. Cytoplasm gets separated completely, and two daughter cells which are genetically identical are resulting cells, which we call daughter cells. Okay, So what is the key outcome we are getting from today's video lecture and this last cytokinesis slide? Two genetically identical daughter cells we are getting after cytokinesis. Remember, these two are identical to each other. These two cells which are resulting cells, these two daughter cells are identical to each other and also to the parent cell from which they have arisen. Okay. So thank you for watching. Don't forget to like the video, share your question. Most importantly, share your question in the comments if you have any. We'll definitely come back to the question and we'll try to answer it as soon as possible. Subscribe for more biology lessons and remember that we had already started a biology online class. So if you are having any difficulty related to any topic, any lesson, or even if you want to complete the whole syllabus with us online, we can do that also for you. All right. Keep watching for more biology content. Thank you.